So Dill, Clayton Oliver was pretty good for Melbourne yesterday. He looks fit. He's undervalued, you'd think?
100%. Yeah, he's got to be one of the first players picked in your team for sure. I mean, he's been an absolute fantasy stud for 5, probably closer to 10 years now. So you got to get him in the team. And it was pretty much just that, whatever happened last year with the kind of the off-field stuff, I guess, that kind of held him back. He wasn't really fit throughout the season. He is, as a midfielder too, like if we talk about the different positions and which players really elevate in fantasy, like he's the perfect player because he's one that gets those tackles in. He's an inside midfielder, but he's also sort of that, to use a soccer term, like a box-to-box kind of player. Like he gets involved in the transition, gets lots of handballs and linkage play and stuff like that too. So, yeah, he's an absolute lock.
100%. As you said about the fantasy, he's pretty good, but he's probably not the cleanest player, but that's not as much of a knockback, is it, with fantasy? Like it's not as much as
Exactly. So you look at like he and Petrarca, for example, as probably the two best midfielders at Melbourne. Petrarca's more that sort of offensive threat, but he probably doesn't get quite as much accumulation as Clayton Oliver. And the fact that Clayton Oliver kicks a grubby little ball inside forward 50 doesn't really matter for fantasy.
Doesn't knock him.
Yeah, so fantasy. Yeah, so for those listening at home, Super Coach, it matters about your efficiency. That's an issue.
Yeah,
whereas with fantasy, ball touches your boot, that's 3 points straight up. Isn't that correct?